up, guys? Welcome to another video. Today we'll be reviewing Top Gun Maverick. This one came out yesterday and was directed by Joseph Kosinski and stars Tom Cruise and Miles Teller. Now, before we start, with the like button, subscribe to post notification bells so you know for a video. And let's just start. Let's start talking about the good. So, all the actors and action in this film, I thought they're all fantastic. The main standouts here are definitely Tom Cruise and Miles Teller. I thought they were very, very good in this film, and Val Kilmer is once again fantastic as Iceman. The opening sequence, I thought it was great. It is very, very reminiscent of the original Top Gun's opening sequence. And I think it works because it adds that nostalgic factor for this film. This film, I believe, is 27 years since the original. So I really enjoyed that opening sequence. The cinematography, which of course is shots of cameras and lighting, fantastic. I really love the way that this film looks. It looks like a big budget film, but it also has Joseph Kosinski's style to the film. I've never seen a Joseph Kosinski film, but this, in terms of the whole feel, it feels like the original Top Gun, but looks really different. The first act of the film I thought was great. I thought it set up the characters very well. All the characters in this film are very likable and very entertaining. All the new recruits, I think, worked on every level. Some of them were not as interesting as the original Top Gun recruits, but a lot of them I had a lot of fun with. There's a great relationship between Maverick, who's of course played by Tom Cruise, and Penny, played by Jennifer Connelly. I think the relationship in this film was great. It is very, very similar to the original film in terms of the relationship between Tom Cruise and another person, but I think it works for this film. There's also a good new set of recruits. I thought they were not as interesting and fun as the old recruits, but they're good enough. They're fun enough, and I enjoyed them when they're on screen. Rooster. Now, Rooster is Goose's son, who's played by Miles Teller. He is fantastic. I thought Miles Teller, easily one of the best characters in this entire film, easily a standout. I think the way that they used his character and tied it in with Goose's story, of course, Goose dies in Top Gun, one of the most emotional sequences in the entire film. And the way they tie his character to Tom Cruise's character for Maverick, I really enjoyed the way that they did that. The dogfight sequences. Now, there are some awesome dogfight and training sequences. Some of them are better than the original Top Gun's dogfight sequences, which still looked very well done. I thought the original Top Gun, the dogfight sequences looked very well done, especially for a late 80s film. This film looks even better. Of course, it should because it's 2022, but I didn't expect it to look this good. And the dogfight sequences are very, very exhilarating and a lot of fun. Vice Admiral Cyclone, who's played by John Hamm. He's fantastic. I thought he was great as a new Vice Admiral. John Hamm is very, very good in this film. He's in this film for a good portion of the film because, of course, he is leading these new recruits and, of course, leading Tom Cruise's character with the new recruits. And I think his character was very, very fun. There's some great nostalgic sequences. Top Gun, of course, is one of my favorite films of all time. And there's a sequence in this film where instead of them playing volleyball, they're playing football. And I think it's a good callback to the original film because, of course, even though they're playing a different sport, it was sort of the same sequence, but very different, which is what I really, really liked about that sequence. The segments of the film I thought was very well done. It continues the fun, the action. There's a lot of heart in this film, and I think the segments of the film does a great job of continuing the story. There's also a great continued relationship between Maverick and Iceman. Of course, Val Kilmer plays Iceman. He's great in this film. Val Kilmer is very, very good in this film, even better than he was in the original film. I think even though he didn't have a lot of screen time in this film, he was still very, very good. There's also a great sequence of Maverick becoming the Admiral Captain in the second act of the film, and I really enjoyed how Maverick sort of becomes this sort of father figure to Miles Teller, Miles Teller's character, a Rooster, and I think Maverick becoming that Admiral Captain of the Navy really gives him another level to his character. There are also many tense sequences, especially the second dogfight, which is a near-death sequence of Phoenix and Bob, which are two new recruits. They almost die in this film, and it's of course very reminiscent of Goose's death, where of course Goose died, but they don't die in this film. But they are very, very close to death, and I really enjoyed how this film keeps the tension throughout the entire film. There are also many hilarious sequences, especially with Maverick and all the new recruits I really enjoyed the camaraderie between Maverick and the new recruits. Of course, Maverick is now top, well, not commander, but he's sort of that Top Gun leader, and I think he did a great job. There are also many emotional sequences, mainly with Maverick sort of remembering Goose's death, and Maverick remembering Goose's death to Rooster, and of course there's a funeral sequence, which there are spoilers in this review from now on. There is a funeral sequence where Iceman dies because he was sick, and I thought it was very, very emotional, especially for Maverick's character, and all the emotional beats that happen throughout that sequence are perfectly well done in this film. The third act of the film, I thought it was very tense and very entertaining. It's very, very different from the original Top Gun's third act. Maverick and Goose, their aviators crash, and then they steal other enemy aviators, and Hangman saved Maverick and Goose in the final battle. Hangman, I thought he was awesome. He was an awesome character, an awesome new recruit, sort of a foil to Miles Teller's character. They're always fighting, and then just like Iceman and Maverick, but of course in the end, Hangman ends up saving Goose, and I think it works very, very well. The score by Harold Faltermeyer, of course, the Top Gun theme, is present throughout some of the sequences in this film, and it was very, very well done, and it was awesome. Whenever that theme song came on, I was always smiling during the entire sequence. Hans Zimmer, Lauren Balfe, and Lady Gaga also were included in the score for this film, and I thought overall the score enhanced every single action sequence in this film. The ending sequence, I thought it was great. Maverick and Rooster get back to the station, and Maverick ends up going with Penny, and I thought that the ending sequence concludes the film perfectly. That's all the good that I have. Now let's move on to the bad. So this is a very minor issue. There's a small pacing issue in one sequence in the second act of the film, which I think dragged on just for a bit. But other than that, I think this is a very, very good sequel. Top Gun Maverick is a fantastic sequel and manages to nearly be on the level of the original Top Gun, and I highly recommend it to all Top Gun fans, and I'm going to give Top Gun Maverick an A-. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the post notification bell so you can get a favorite video. I'm Peter. Thank you for watching.